Good morning. Welcome to First Presbyterian Church. This is the second of our online video or virtual recitals that are going to be occurring through the month of May and may possibly extend into June. For May, these recitals will be focused on showing the abilities and talents of some of our younger kind of student musicians here at the church. And today, I'm especially excited to have these three musicians. They've all been involved in the youth chorus program here. John Potvin is now a sophomore, just finishing his sophomore year at Furman. He's developing into a wonderful young baritone, and he will be singing a song by Hugo Wolf. Lindsay and Ryan Green, brother and sister, are also going to be performing two pieces, one by Handel and the other by composer Amy Beach. And we're just happy that we can be supporting these musicians during this time, giving them opportunities to perform and to share their gifts and their talents with you. And we look forward to hearing them. Enjoy.
Landschaft Sommer floh.
John.
Hello, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too. How are you doing? How's your family doing?
We're doing really well. All at home, either doing school or working at home. And
okay.
So yeah.
So tell us what that's looking like. Who's coming from where and have come back to Aiken?
Yeah, so Jessa is a senior at Wheaton in Illinois, so she's come back, and Jenna and my mom were in Florida. Jenna, my little sister, is taking ballet lessons there, so she's now taking ballet lessons through Zoom, about 7 hours a day, very intensive. Now I've come back from Furman. It's my, just finished my sophomore year yesterday. Okay. So
good. Well,
yeah.
Congratulations. Everything go well?
Yeah, everything's gone well. The transition hasn't been too bad, but missed out on a lot of, singing and music opportunities, but school finished fine.
You doing any more lessons and things while you're home with your teacher there?
Yes, we've done about 5 or 6 weeks of online voice lessons.
Okay. How's that going?
Actually not too bad. The medium is different, but it's fine.
Yeah. It's great to hear you. I know it's probably been about maybe not quite a year since hearing you, but it's nice your voice is maturing and it's got a beautiful, rich quality, and Wolf is not easy music to sing.
Yeah.
it can be treacherous with all the chromaticism and all of that.
Absolutely,
so,
yeah.
But beautifully done. What do you like about singing that particular piece?
What I enjoy a lot of Wolf pieces, and this one in particular has a more old, ancient feeling. Wolf is known for his chromaticism and rich harmony, but this one's a bit simpler, kind of an ancient, older feel to it. I think it's kind of like this Phrygian feeling, and his text painting is really beautiful. It's like when he sings about the sinless purity of Jesus as a child, he uses syncopated rhythm to kind of bring about this innocence. And you see that throughout his music when he talks about children.
Yeah, kind of playfulness.
Right. Yeah.
And talk about the poem in terms of what the poem is describing.
Yeah. The poem is by Modica. He said a number of Modica poems. He was a German poet. The text is about. It's describing a kind of a pastoral scene where Jesus is playing on his mother's lap, and it's describing kind of the reeds, the rushing water, and then it's almost like then at the very last verse, it focuses in on the background where the stump of the cross is beginning to grow. So it's kind of like this foreshadowing to him dying on the cross.
Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful poem and a beautiful setting, and you sang it beautifully.
Thanks.
And we'll look forward to it as we're going to hear shortly. We'll hear Lindsay and Ryan Green, but at some point it'd be fun to maybe have you all come back and do something again in a year or a couple of years, or
I'd love that.
Maybe your senior graduation celebration.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any plans for the summer or things? What were you going to be doing? I know a couple things have been canceled. So.
Yeah, so this summer I was planning to go to Austria with the choir. So we were going to Austria and kind of that area, and then right after that I had a work study opportunity at Songfest in Los Angeles.
Okay.
So that all Songfest some of it got moved online, so we do some of that. But yeah, I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do this summer. I'm going to definitely focus on my languages, on keeping up with speaking German, and focus on some French or Russian diction or something. Okay,
good. Well, thanks again. It's good to see you, and it's great to see you maturing every time I hear you, and looking forward to hearing you. A year from now, 2 years from now, down the road.
It's always wonderful to be back here.
Yeah. Well, next time, at some point, we might have to pay money to come hear you all. So, but it's great to have you here again.
Well, thanks, Dr. Cole.
All right. Thanks, John. Lindsay and Ryan, that was fantastic. Wonderful to hear you both. It's wonderful to hear you together. I don't think I've ever heard you two together. So it's great to see brother and sister teaming up and making great music. I think next time you should do something harder, though, for both of you, really. Just find something faster and louder would probably be good. But again, beautiful to hear you both. I basically just kind of find out what you both are up to. What are you doing? Lindsay, you've been in Miami. Tell us a little bit about what you were doing prior to going down to Miami. What brought you down there?
Yeah, sure. So I graduated from Boston University with my bachelor's in voice 2 years ago. And I was all set to go to grad school in Arizona, actually, until I went down to Miami and met my current voice teacher, and because I did a music festival down there. And so I studied with him privately down there a little bit, and the next thing you know, we were both talking about me moving there to study with him. So yeah, so I'm just living there now. I've been there it'll be 2 years in September, and studying and getting my technique down, and then I'm hoping to start auditioning.
Well, it sounds like it was a wise decision.
I'm very happy with it, definitely.
You sounded wonderful. And Ryan, you've got exciting news too. Tell us about your plans for the upcoming fall.
Well, I'm about to graduate high school, and I plan to attend Eastman School of Music up in Rochester, New York.
Okay. And you're going to be doing either piano, or you're going to be
Organ.
doing organ?
Organ
Great.
performance.
Okay. And so now you started studying with Mr. Russell three years ago.
Yes.
Okay. And your piano teacher is
Dr. Wilson.
Dr. Wilson,
Yes.
Ann Wilson, right?
Yes.
Well, wonderful. Well, you both. It's so encouraging to see the fruit of your labors, and just to see the musicians you've developed into, and it's going to be exciting to see what happens in a few more years, and we're certainly going to have to bring you back. Now, you come from a pretty musical family. You want to
Yep.
talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So our parents both went to conservatories for their masters and their bachelors, Peabody Conservatory in Baltimore and Cincinnati Conservatory. So we basically grew up with the music, listening to symphonies and going to concerts, ballets, all that type of thing. So I started playing trumpet when I was in middle school, and then I was in dance. So that's kind of how I got into voice, slowly but surely. And then I, of course, found you and Mrs. Cole, and when I was 13, and that's when I started voice lessons. So yeah.
Good. And how are things been at home since you're both home now? How has that been, being all together?
It's been pretty fun, I think, for the most part, right?
A little tight sometimes.
A little
Yeah.
tight sometimes.
It's true.
Are there any particular verses of scripture or things that you've seen that the Lord has been doing in your lives through this epidemic, in terms of your family or your family life even?
Yeah, so I think for me, I've actually been fortunate. I haven't been home in several months, and this is the longest I've been home for, going on 2 months now, for a long time since I graduated from college. So I think it's definitely been good for me to work on patience and, just growing closer to my family. I feel like we've definitely gotten closer through this, spending all this extra time at home, and just, I definitely can see God, through keeping us safe and just growing us closer together as a family, and through the music that we're making.
Good.
So,
Good.
yeah.
Well, thank you both again. It's been a real pleasure, and we'll have to do this again sometime. Hopefully, not under these circumstances, but maybe we'll put something together next year when you're both back home again at some point. So, thank you both very much.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.